Working on a project can be like going on a journey. You may have been preparing and planning it for a while. It may take long, even longer than you first thought. Sometimes you meet new people, learn new things, and you experience the growth of your state of mind. When you reach the end, what you find will be affected by the actions and decisions you make. Currently, I'm on my own journey to finish creating a game called Gigabit Labyrinth. Although I have come a long way, there is still a long way to go. Can I even finish this? Should others have confidence that I can finish this? When the project is complete, am I prepared for what I find at the end? Hi, this is Super Dev Bros, a series that documents the progress of my game and the game design guiding it. If you are starting your journey on a big project, but lack experience in tackling a project in a similar field, the best way to handle such a monumental project is to not tackle it at all. Yep, especially if that project is a video game. This is because you need to experience what it's like to manage and finish a project. Well, not only just finishing the project, but to also work towards a deadline. Most importantly, you need to handle the emotional baggage that comes from working on a project, to evaluate if you have achieved what you set out to do, your mistakes, and to empathize with others about your work. Give them confidence in you, as well as confidence in yourself. Now, although I have worked on arduous projects in the past, as regards actually designing and programming a game, well, so far, I have nothing. So, although I believe that I have what it takes to complete my game, it would be good to prove that I can dedicate myself to a project and attempt something good. So, I decided to enter the Playmaker Game Jam. Jam is a reference to musician jam sessions, but with video games. The goal is to come together in competition and make a video game in a short amount of time. Now, Playmaker is a visual scripter for a video game creation tool called Unity. It enables beginners to build an entire game without writing a single line of code.
Heresy!
This tool is actually one of the reasons I even decided to become a game dev in the first place, because it made programming easier to understand for me. Plus, the game jam is just around the corner. So I called up my good friend, what was his name again? Oh yeah, Alex, to help out.
Hello.
How are you, Alex?
I'm absolutely fine.
Great. Do you have Playmaker?
Yes, I do.
Awesome. And it's working, right?
Yep.
And you know how to use it, right?
Hopefully.
It's cool anyway. It's easy. As long as you understand logic, it's easy. You understand logic, right?
I hope I know what logic is.
Okay. I'm not talking about the program or the rapper.
I don't understand it.
Oh, he speaks quite normally.
I'm ripping and living and striving and killing the river. He calling, we're going and flow. And you know he pursuing and doing it, moving and grooving and stepping and rocking and tucking and walking and.
The competition lasts for 72 hours, which means we've only got 3 days to make a game. Now, game jams genuinely have a theme. In this case, the theme was Murphy's Law, which basically means that anything that can go wrong will go wrong, like the way I pronounced wrong. There was also an additional theme called Dark Miracles, so you could choose between 2, and it's up to interpretation how you approach these themes in your game. Now for this game jam, you can only use Playmaker. The easiest way to come up with ideas is brainstorming, but you can take this further with multi-layered brainstorming, or mind mapping, or brainstorm webbing, or whatever you want to call it. This involves brainstorming simple concepts, and then brainstorming further concepts on top of those, and even create separate but relevant brainstorms, and linking them all together. It sounds complicated, but it's not, and it's a quick way for blasting out ideas. So in this case, we came up with very basic concepts associated with the 2 themes to get ourselves going. Then, we did the same thing for the different types of gameplay, and for each of these types, additionally brainstormed game mechanic ideas and narratives relative to the theme. When we were done with that, we gave each game idea a score and then eliminated the games with the lowest score. Finally, we ranked the remaining by how much we wanted to make the game. Once we settled on an idea that we both liked and that we were confident that we could finish within 3 days, We delegated our tasks and we are now ready. And just in time before the game jam starts. In fact, we begin in 3, 2, 1. Right, the time is ticking. And I've only got 71 hours, 59 minutes and 56 seconds to go. So the first thing I did was go to sleep. Well, cause you know, the game jam started at 12 o'clock in the morning BST. I mean, what kind of nonsense is that? These Playmaker people, what was their company name again? You need to sort yourself out. You need to be more mindful of others. And by others, I specifically mean me. Regardless, it's time to turn in and rest. So, we wasted no time and went straight into video game development. The game that we decided to make is based on Murphy's Law, a top-down shooter called Rapid Repair, where only the turrets can destroy the enemies. You can shoot yourself, but you can only stun the enemies. However, every so often the turrets will start to malfunction. A power-up will appear on the stage, and you need to use that power-up in order to repair the turret. So the first thing I did was create a placeholder for the turrets, as well as any additional objects that would be needed for the turret to function. Now for the AI, it will be pretty basic. As soon as the enemy is within range, the turret will attack it. The player controls will be pretty basic as well, because there's no need for it not to be. Plus, I'm not a big fan of programming a character controller in Playmaker. The enemies will simply chase the player. In the meantime, Alex was busy modelling the turrets, and also designing the title graphics. By the end of the day, I had programmed 4 different types of turrets, some of which have unique projectiles, like heat-seeking missiles, or a giant bullet. I also added a useless jump function because why not? So today went quite smoothly for game development, so I think it's time for a well-earned good night's sleep. I had a horrible night's sleep. I was busy, so I didn't have that much time to work on the game, but I did manage to create the character. In the meantime, Alex was busy creating icons and other graphics. I then moved on to creating the errors for the turrets. I tried to keep it as simple as possible because there are quite a few errors I needed to program. By the end of the day, I had all the programming done for the player and NPCs. I still have some bugs, but that's for another day. Okay, it's the last day. Alex was drawing up designs for levels. Again, I was busy until 12 PM, but I did manage to fix the major bugs. Next, I just have to create the levels. Once I've done that, I then moved on to designing the menus for the game. It's just about time to export it and get it to itch.io, and with 10 minutes to spare.
Success!
Overall, we are quite satisfied with the game, especially considering the fact that we've been able to create a game that we both like within 3 days. We certainly achieved what we set out to do as regards the gameplay, as the aim was to make the player feel comfortable for a moment as the turret does all the work for you, then make them anxious as the turret stops working. It can get really exciting when you are crowded with enemies and you're running to fix your turret, and I feel that the stun gun and controls gives the player just enough power that they can think that they can make it. I do feel there is more we could have added with the levels and character design. Alex also never used Playmaker before and hasn't really used much of Unity, so even though he helped out a lot, he feels he could do a lot better next time. But hey, hindsight is 2020, and it's this experience that is beneficial not just in game jams, but in any project you may undertake. So you don't need to do a game jam. It could be anything, any competition or task that you set for yourself that takes up to 1 month, 1 week, or even a day. It tests your technique, tenacity, time management, tractability, and most importantly, self-trust. From it, all of these traits improve. Working on a project can be like going on a journey, but in a sense, the destination is the journey, as this is where the self-improvement takes place, and what you truly find at the end is a view that has a reflection in the distance, a perspective of where you can go, a place you can be in the future. You can find and play the game through the link in the description, and while you're at it, give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, you may comment, did I win the game jam? No, but you see, it's not about winning. The doing is more important than the outcome, and in essence, This is the end of the video.